Welcome to Crawl or No Crawl. This is Carolyn Holzman. Today is January 29th. It is day number 513 in the index research project. Thank you for your comments. Please keep them coming. You make this process more fun when you do, and I tend to do a lot more testing, when I'm having fun, just saying. Now these videos are my reports on the indexation research project that started in August 2021. And as a tester, it was really important to find a way to get new pages into the index. Now I use a simple test keyword that is in the HTML to test for the first pass. Let me show you how that's documented over here. So this means when I find the simple keyword, I'm testing for the first pass, the HTML pull of the crawling system. Now the second test keyword, which is designated here as complex, basically that's a JavaScript keyword. When that page, content, goes through that second rendering crawl, that's the first time Google can see that keyword. So when I can find that keyword, that means that the second render pass has been completed successfully. So again, those are simple tests, right? And so I'm continuing to test this because my goal is not to get my pages indexed necessarily, but to demonstrate that Google is a machine. It's not omniscient, and it is not able to know before crawling if your content is quality or not. Now this week it's all been about the desktop primary crawler test site. And this is, let me just show you the, right, so all of these things, even though these are green, that doesn't mean that's the day this test page came live. That's the day that I found new content. And then I notate underneath the test page date when it was. So as you can see, the 24th, that was the 22nd test page that was found. Hope that's not confusing. Trying to keep it as simple as possible, but it's a lot of things to keep track of. So basically this week was all the desktop crawler. Now every test, so if we look at it all the days, so far this week for 6 days, we had, actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, yes. 6 days, there were 6 simple keywords and 6 JavaScript keywords. And out of those basically 12 tests, only one, that's this one over here on the 28th, was found by its keyword. So that was the 27th test page was found on the 28th. Now I have confirmed that 5 out of those 6 in Search Console, Google Search Console, shows the status of those pages as indexed. Do you get it? And there was one page that says discovered, not crawled. Guess which one? That'll be this one that doesn't have a Search Console coverage date. So where is it? What does this mean? Did Google lose this URL somewhere in the system? And also, not for nothing, looks like we are running a little late on the typical update on the pages report in Search Console. So usually that happens every 3 days. So we are already, on day 4 since the last one occurred on the 24th. So maybe that's when Tuesday's test URL will show up in the Search Console, because, why do I say that? When I locate the discovered not crawled section in my Search Console, this URL that I just did, just tell me everything you know about this URL, the report said it was discovered not crawled. When I go into the system that says these are your pages that have been discovered and not crawled, that URL is not in there. That's why I'm bringing that to your attention. In fact, no URLs are listed in there. So that's kind of why I am curious what happens with this update. Now, I share all this not to confound you, but to give you the idea, the possibility, the inkling that Google systems might be broken or perhaps under construction. Now, this behavior that I described is not the case in the test site whose data is compiled by the mobile crawlers. So here's where we're isolating different behavior. Now, let me take you over here. Now, this is the Google Index Detector page. Think of it as your daily cheat sheet. So when you see red, does this mean that you're not getting your content crawled, indexed, and served? No, it does not. You might, okay? Both phenomena can be true. Also, most people do not distinguish between new, never before indexed content and when they make updates to existing content. That's what this testing does, is show you or help you make that distinction. Most SEOs don't know how to know which version of their page is within Google's index. It can be figured out, but most are either unaware, I would say most are unaware that it can be determined, because previously we never had to figure this out. Indexing was almost simultaneous. Indexing and served, let me correct myself. Indexing and served was almost simultaneous. It is no longer that case. Now, you can, this is the desktop, primary crawler's desktop, so you can kind of see that it's a little slow in there. Same way is true for the mobile, the primary mobile crawler site, but that's mainly because nothing new is being published on there right now. All right, so that's why you see the last tested was the last time that there was a page not findable on there. So now let's look at the bots. All right. As a reminder, there was a new mobile bot, number 23, with an updated Chrome build that showed up on the 24th. And on the 25th, there was a new desktop 22 that matched the mobile 22's Chrome build. I think of them as sisters. Now, in general, that's how it happens. Mobile gets tested first, and then the sister of that tested mobile crawler, the one with the same Chrome build, that one shows up in general. And then once the new desktop is situated, then they unleash a new mobile one. So it's a little bit, slightly different order, but it could just be in the amount of server logs I have access to. That's how they showed up. Now, in general, overall, right now, you're probably not going to see a lot of render recrawling going on. That makes sense because I think today we are back to a 1.8 on there. So there's not a lot of render crawling. And since, I would say, probably since midnight, Greenwich Mean Time, there's been zero bot presence in all the server logs that I have access to, not just the test sites. It literally looks like a ghost town in the log since midnight GMT. So maybe the page report update is imminent. I'll check throughout the day. Normally they happen between 3 a.m. and 6 a.m. Greenwich Mean Time, which is around 9 p.m. midnight my time. So I'll reserve the right to update that as it happens. Okay, so don't forget, check out this week's Confessions of an SEO podcast, where you will hear me talk very nerdly on server logs. The link's in the description. Have a great rest of your day, and I will see you tomorrow.